So, hello to everyone and welcome, it is neewd here, and today it is time for me to bring you 10 things about FIFA 19 gameplay that we just love to hate. They have been in FIFAs for a while, some of them, but others are new to the game for this year and new to the list of things that we just wish did not exist. If you go on to enjoy this video, slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it massively helps me out. We're also aiming for 100,000 subscribers before the end of the calendar year, so I really just if that was to happen, it would actually blow my entire mind. First of all, and the easiest one really of the lot, I think, because we're going to be talking about all of FIFA 19, not just career mode as I usually do. Input delay online is actually disgraceful, and it has been since the start. I think the general consensus here is that EA need to invest in some new servers. I'm going to try and be constructive during the course of this video. I know it's things that we all hate, but we hate them for a reason, and we're being constructive in telling EA that we don't want them to be a thing anymore. I realise that a whole new server system is probably not the easiest thing to implement, but it really needs to happen, given this is one of the biggest sports, well, probably, I mean, verging on the biggest sports game in the world, but it's certainly in the top 3 or 4, to be honest with you. So for there to be so much of an issue with connectivity now is a massive issue. Like, it's really, really poor. We're going into 2019, and this has been an issue, well, I mean, since time began, really. Since the EA servers even began. They've had various issues. There was lag, obviously, back in the day. Then more recently, there was the disconnects issue, whereas now it's more to do with input delay. So when you press a button, when you say pass a ball to another player, it will take 2 seconds perhaps to register, which doesn't sound like that long, but in game, you've lost the ball by then, so there's no point. Like, it's just infuriating having to try and play when you're 2 seconds ahead of what's actually happening, if that makes sense. It's also very, very inconsistent as well. I mean, think about it. When you play other games online, it's pretty smooth. You get what you get. It's very, your internet might be horrendous and that might induce lag, but it's consistent. It's not consistent with EA, so you know it's to do with servers. You know it's to do with servers because FIFA, sometimes it's a smooth game, sometimes there's no delay, other times it's absolutely ridiculous. Second of all, finesse shots from outside of the area are too OP. And I know there's something that's always overpowered every FIFA. You know, sometimes it's near post shots, sometimes it is finesses from outside the area. This has happened before. Sometimes it's first time shots, sometimes it's low shots, those double tap shots from back in the day a couple of years ago. Now it's finesse shots outside of the area. And I don't mean timed finishes, I mean the whole shebang, fam, all of them. They're all too overpowered. I don't mind time finishing being overpowered because that's kind of the whole point. You've got to be skilled to be able to pull it off, and you know, if a shot is well timed from outside the area, fine, don't touch them. If there's anyone from EA's gameplay department watching, don't touch time shots. That's calm. We don't care about that. It's good that those shots are overpowered. That's the whole point of them. But not all finesse shots should be. Like, you can bang one in top bins from 25 yards without it being timed. So what's the point? Like, it is just finesse shot simulator sometimes. Like it was bicycle kick simulator at the start of the game cycle. Number 3, and this is one that really infuriates me, however it's not as bad as FIFA 18, I will say that. Passes often don't go in the direction you aimed them at. And I don't know whether this is to do with input delay, but okay, fine. If I'm using a player, right, who's got 50 passing, and his pass doesn't make it, fine, whatever, his passing attribute is horrendous, but I would expect it to still go in the same general direction as where I aimed it, or at the same player that I aimed it to go to. Sometimes it just won't. Sometimes, say I'm passing the ball to someone into the center circle who stood at the center circle of the pitch, and it will just go like directly to the right hand side, or like down. It's like, no, I clearly aimed centrally. Why would it go to the player on the right wing? It just, number 4. This isn't actually a playing sort of thing, but it is to do with gameplay. You actively see it on the screen. Crowds should not be full in certain games, and this mainly applies to career mode, really. But why, as Gillingham, am I seeing a full stadium away, like when I'm playing at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup? They're not gonna sell out a Carabao Cup tie at Old Trafford against Gillingham. I'm really sorry to tell you, Gillingham fans, but it's not gonna happen. We all know that's not gonna happen. A Checker Trade Trophy tie is not gonna sell out whatever stadium you put it in. Nobody cares about that competition. Number 5, momentum. I'm sorry, we all know it exists. Don't even try try and tell me that momentum doesn't exist. And I can guarantee for a fact I know it exists now. Because the thing is, right, it's almost easier to tell when you play offline that momentum exists because it's all AI based. When you're playing offline, it's all AI based. Whereas online, at least there's the variable of the other person. So sometimes it can be a little bit of a mystery. When you're playing offline, you can tell it exists. And therefore you can transpose it onto online and therefore say, yes, if it existed offline, it's going to exist in the game generally and online. So there's a couple of different examples, okay? First of all, obviously online, when you're leading a game and the opposition score, momentum comes into play. You end up either drawing, losing the game, whatever, but the opposition plays better. And it's not just a fact of the opposition player playing better. Bounce has become luckier. Your AI players aren't maybe positioning themselves as well as they were when you were winning the game 2-0. Stuff like that you can't even control. And secondly, in offline, this is a massive thing in career mode. If you concede a certain amount of goals to the AI, I'm sure this exists on squad battles as well, but I don't really play squad battles, the AI step up so incredibly that they are actually impossible. I play on ultimate difficulty, okay? So when I'm losing a game, say 2-0, I know I'm screwed. I'm absolutely shafted. I'm never getting back into that game because the AI suddenly start playing incredibly, and conversely, my own players start doing the stupidest things, right? For instance, I've had this so many times where I'm 2-0 down, and I literally go to take the kick off, pass it back to my first player, and then pass it again, and it goes straight to the opposition. And it's not a bad pass, it's a 4-yard pass, it's gone straight to the opposition. And that is when I know something has switched, and suddenly, my own AI players are stupid, they can't position themselves, they can't control anything as well, and it's just a shit show. So momentum, please, for the love of God, can we just move on from that? It doesn't need to be in FIFA anymore. Number 6 is quite a brief one. Offline derbies are really no different to normal games. This is again career mode based. If I play Manchester United with Liverpool, it just feels like a normal game. I want the AI to be coming at me and putting in some strong challenges, and then I can get into it as well. And then, you know, the odd bit of pushing and shoving when there's a card given or something, and a bit more atmosphere would be nice from the fans, and maybe specialist commentary or more than we've had for the last 5 years, which has pretty much stayed the same. And going along with that as well, in a similar vein, number 7, player celebrations for big goals, whether that be in derbies or last minute goals or goals to win you a tournament. If you're in the 85th minute of the Champions League final, I don't want to see my guy just go over and kick the corner flag and then celebrate with 2 other people. I want to see absolute limbs, left, right and centre. The manager charging into the centre circle like Jurgen Klopp in the Merseyside derby. Players throwing themselves into the crowd physically. I don't want to just see the normal celebration. It's not hard to implement. If it's a goal that's going to change the outcome of the game, so either a goal that draws you level or a goal that wins you the game, and it's in the last 10 minutes, I should see absolute scenes. That is it. That surely can't be too difficult to put in. Number 8, we've got pinball defending. This one is so annoying, online and offline. The amount of times I will make a perfectly good tackle at least 2 or 3 times in a row, and the opposition still has the ball is ridiculous. My defenders just dedicate to the challenge. If you're going in for a tackle, make it happen, win the ball back. There's so many times I'll be using someone who's really sturdy as a defender, like a Koulibaly or a Virgil van Dijk, and they'll just go in with a light tackle and then it bounces off them and maintains with the attacker. It's just ridiculous. So I call it pinball defending because it just bounces back and eventually goes back to the attacker anyway. But sturdier challengers go into a challenge and want to win the ball. My defenders just don't seem to want to do that, and my opposition just keep hold of the ball every time. Number 9, the rating system is an absolute shocker. Like, it's so bad. You can't determine who's doing well for you based off that. I'm sorry, it's genuinely ridiculous. Like, I will have the worst game possible with a right back or something and they'll still get a good rating, probably because their positioning was good during the course of the game. It just needs to be based on mistakes. Like, sure, there needs to be a mistake indicator as well, because I don't think there's that, realistically. My goalkeeper could be at fault for the losing goal of a game, and then he gets like a 7 rating because he made 2 saves earlier. It's like, no, he cost us the game. Take that into account. And then finally, I don't know what's really happened to free kicks over the last couple of years, but they're a shambles now. I can't score a free kick to save my life, and I'm not a bad FIFA player. I'm really not a bad FIFA player, and the problem is they're so inconsistent. Like, you can do the exact same free kick like 10 times in a row, and out of that 10 times, they'll go in completely different directions. directions. I'm not even titting about. They are ridiculous. I just go with power free kicks now because finesse ones over the wall literally don't work. They just go everywhere. Anyway, that is going to wrap up the 10 things we all love to hate about FIFA 19 gameplay. If there's any more, drop them down in the comment section below. And on the flip side, if there's anything you like lots about, FIFA 19 gameplay, drop that down in the comment section below because I'll make sure to do a converse version of this video as well. But if you enjoyed this one, slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it really helps me out. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, 100,000 subscribers is the aim before the end of the calendar year. I really want to try and make it happen, hence I've been uploading daily recently. You can also follow me on social media these days too. My Twitter and Insta are at @theofficialfng and links are down below. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.